Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Upgrade to the home of your dreams with Manny and Courtney from CMK Construction. CMK Construction is Tampa's award-winning kitchen and bath leader for over 20 years. Right now, save $3,000 on a new kitchen and $2,000 on a new bathroom. And take advantage of our no money down and no interest financing until 2026. Imagine, design, build.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
How are you doing, everybody? It is a Friday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. We are not on the spot tonight. I wanted to make absolutely sure, so I turned it on over there, and apparently in women's hockey, Ottawa is taking on Vancouver, and Ottawa is up 1-0. So that's what's going on the spot right now. On the other TV next to it, because the games started earlier than I thought last night, and they did again tonight, you have the Indiana Hoosiers taking on the Quack Attack, the Oregon Ducks. Now, I am wearing, kind of, sort of, Oregon's colors, but it's also, obviously, as y'all know, it's USF's colors. I am rooting for the Indiana Hoosiers for a number of reasons. One, because I just think they're an incredible story. Two, because I love the way that team and that coach likes to beat teams into the ground. Now, what do I mean by that? So there are some teams, when they're up at half, they coast the second half. Indiana does not do that. And if there's someone who you like to play halftime games, when a team likes to continue to run up the score, that makes it very much easier to predict how the games are going to go. So that is one reason why I like Indiana, which, by the way, and this is a really fascinating game because, first of all, Oregon shut out Texas Tech. Texas Tech was one of those teams. Matter of fact, and we're going to do lots. No commercial breaks, Mary. So we're going to do our hellos and everything, but Emily, how you doing? Good to see you. Leisha, good to see you. Anna Maria, as always. So, as I was saying, I just glanced down and saw the folks here. And by the way, let me know if we freeze. We have not frozen for 4 straight days, and we're not really sure why. We're kind of trying to do different things to see, and right now we're on a 4-game winning streak. But anyway, like I was saying, so the transfer portal was a big thing in college football this year, and will be for years to come probably, and teams are able to buy the services of players. And the way that they get around doing it, it is what it is. It is the new norm. Whether or not you agree with it, some people say, no, they're getting a college education. Other people are saying, no, what are you talking about? These colleges make billions of dollars, and these athletes should make something out of it, especially if the majority don't make it to the pros. So there's both arguments. Well, this year and last year too, the transfer portal is open, and there are players that are now being purchased in a sense. Well, Texas Tech was at the top of the list. They went out and pretty much bought anybody they could find, and they were really, really good. Offensively, they were really good. Oregon shut them out last week, literally shut them out. So Oregon's got this great defense. Indiana's got this stellar offense and an okay defense. And if you were watching last night, the Miami game, Miami-Ole Miss game, the first 2 or 3 quarters were, okay. The fourth quarter was amazing. And I will tell you this, too. I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody, but in watching Miami, nothing against Miami fans, but that team, there were a lot of cheap shots in that game. There were a lot of cheap shots from Miami players in that game, including several that weren't called. If you notice, the Ole Miss quarterback was at least 15 feet out of bounds and still got pushed. There were several targeting calls. There were several personal fouls that had nothing to do with the interference at the end of the game or not. And there's both sides to that argument. Very rarely, if ever, will you ever see a PI called on a Hail Mary. I mean, I guess, there are some people argue, look, a penalty is a penalty and you're going to call it whenever. That's not reality. That's not the way the games are called. And on a Hail Mary, I think you literally would have to take the guy and throw him down for a PI to be called. It wasn't. The Canes came back and won the game. They are now in the national championship game. But I'll tell you, in watching that game, and, and Miami used to have that reputation. We're going to get to weather. We got a lot of weather to talk about, by the way. But we have no commercials tonight, so we can talk about all sorts of stuff. But the reality of it is, back in the 80s and the 90s, Miami thrived with that mentality. That is who they were. Being a Penn State grad, when Penn State beat them in the Fiesta Bowl that one year, remember the Vinny Testaverde days? They came out all in camouflage with Jimmy Johnson, and that they embraced that bad boy mentality. I don't know if this particular team does as well. I don't know if that's the mentality they want. Not really sure, but watching that game last night, there were a lot of late hits and a lot of cheap shots from Miami's players. You know what? They won the game. More power to them. I'm just saying, me personally, I've watched Indiana most of this year pretty closely, and I'm not an Indiana fan, but you got to respect what that team has done. So my prediction is Indiana over Oregon and the national champion. I don't care if Miami's playing at home, the Indiana Hoosiers. That is my prediction. All right, so we got lots of weather to talk about, but let's do some hellos, because when we're on TV, we don't get the chance to do as many hellos. By the way, I'm watching. Okay, they are in the national anthem's about to show up, so they're going to be starting the game coming up in a few minutes. So, Denise, how you doing? Good to see you. Charles in Largo. Charles, you know what? Charles in Largo, I had a chance to come out and talk to one of his groups, gosh, decades ago. But I have not heard from Charles in a while. I do notice from time to time I see you on other Facebook page comments as well from the competitions. All right, Charlie, I love you anyway. Sandy, how you doing? Jules, good to see you. Sheila in Newport Richie. How you doing, Sheila? Gail in Largo. Charlotte in Seminole. Lori in St. Pete, how you doing? Break free zone, Jules says, rather. Yes, absolutely. And countdown music is catchy. Yeah, you know what? And Denise, unfortunately, I will get flagged for copyright infringement on that music. We pay, the station pays for that music, we have the rights to it, and every single time I use that music, I get flagged for a copyright violation from Facebook. And what it is, it's whoever wrote that song, Brass News is what it's called, ironically enough. And whoever wrote Brass News, or the bots that follow Brass News, it always dings us and says, oh, you have a copyright violation. No, we don't. We pay for it. We have the rights to it. Turn your bots off, get your act together, and stop harassing me. That is my take to the person who wrote Brass News, because we have the rights to it. So leave me alone. Kelly, how you doing? Good to see you. Camille in Port Charlotte, nice to see you. Another cold front is on the way, Carol. Yes, it hit 88 degrees today in Plant City. Crazy. Northern Alabama's in the house with Barbara. Whenever I say Alabama, it just reminds me of my cousin Vinny. Or in Forrest Gump, where he says, you need to go home to Greenbow, Alabama. So we have Mel in Clearwater. We've got Denise. It is a break-free Friday. Pauline, nice to see you. Beverly Hills in the house with Cindy. Kurt, nice to see you, Kurt. We got football. We got NFL football coming up this weekend, by the way, as well. We'll give those predictions coming up in a minute as well, because I am on the record. Mary's like, this is perfect weather. Perfect weather. Mary Ellen, good to see you. Palm Harbor's in the house with Deb. Red, nice to see you. Red Oldsmar with Terry. Northport, Nathan. Nicole, what's up? So Nicole's asking about the fog. Didn't have as much fog this morning. Won't have as much fog tomorrow. Maybe some early morning fog on Sunday, and then the fog goes away for at least a week as a cold front comes in. Definitely questionable flags at the end of the game, or lack thereof, Jules. Nicole from Lake Alfred's in the house. Red remembering Mama Red. So let's remember Mama Red. Looks like Mama Red led a long life, 89 years old. So I ain't gonna be anywhere near that. I just ain't gonna happen. So that's a long time. Is this a weather channel or a sports channel, Mags? You know what? You know what channel? This is my channel. From 7:30 to 8, this is my channel. And you can't define it. Now, you can try to call it religious and inspirational programming, as cable does it. Or you can call it weather. Or you can call it sports, because you know what? We are a jack of all trades. And we talk a little about everything. Wait till we get on a My Cousin Vinny rant or a movie quote rant. We do it all, not just weather. Who's your snowbird? It is IU. David is in the house. So you're going to be watching there, showing Indiana's coach walking out right now. Prudy, how you doing? Prudy in Spring Hill. Say hello to your lovely daughter for us. Nancy. Yeah, Nancy's right. If you're just here for weather, you're in the wrong place. You are correct. We will get our weather. And oh, by the way, you will not find any more accurate weather anywhere. But if you're just in it for, I just want weather 24 hours a day, that ain't me. I love weather. Love it since I was a little kid. But you know what? I love sports. I love movies. I love 70s and 80s music. I love all sorts of stuff. And we talk about it all here, and so do you. Waiting for Dennis to sit back and show off his socks. All right, Anna Maria. There you go. It is a Friday, and we have time to do a little bit of chit-chat. Winter Haven's in the house. Terry from Illinois saying, go Hoosiers. Terry from Oldsmar, how you doing? So I did not see that, Charlotte, but I will look. Palmetto's in the house with David. Minnesota. Kevin from Minnesota used to live in Newport Richie. Neil, how you doing? Ola Dennis with one N. Ola Neil with one N as well. Robin from Sun City Center. It's been a while. Thanks for checking in. Stan from Palm Harbor and Pennsylvania. What's my favorite Valentine candy? I love Ethel M chocolates. So anything Ethel M, I love. Michael Lancaster. How you doing, Michael? As always, Michael's a friend of the show. Michael's been one of our original OG folks from way back when. Jessica in Tampa, Fairfield, Ohio, Linda. Mini eggs. Now, that's my favorite Easter candy. I love the little Cadbury mini eggs, but that's not Valentine's. Eric, looking forward to the next front. Lakeland's in the house with Nicole. Oldsmar with Pazmino, I think. How you doing? Sarasota with Francis. Moon Lake, Newport Richie. All right, so we got lots and lots of folks here, as always. Trinity, lots of hellos. All right. Channel 23 is showing a commercial for DPL. Yes, it is. I do see that. So there you go. All right. Let's talk. We got lots and lots. I could just go on and list in cities forever. Conrad in Sebring. Kate in Bradenton. All right, here's what we're going to do. Wait a minute. Question here from Neil. Your old mailman from Pensa Circle Drive. Penzance Drive, I think. I don't remember even living there. Neil, but how you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, I don't like dark chocolate. Milk chocolate I like. Chris in Iowa. Hello, Chris. The only time I like dark chocolate is when it's from coconut. Hold on, stand by. So Ethel M has these amazing coconut clusters covered in dark chocolate. Those are exceptional. But that's the only time I like dark chocolate. I pronounced it right. Shocker. It'll never happen again either. It will never happen again. So I'm not even going to try. Heidi in Port Richie, how you doing? All right. We got a lot of weather to talk about. And is the game on yet? Oh, Oregon's coming out. The Quack Attack is coming out. Oregon's coach is very intense. Oh, by the way, did you see at the end of the Miami game, when Miami scored their touchdown, there was like 30 seconds left, and the assistant coach ran over to their head coach and gave him a hug. And he's like, "Get off me, man. This game ain't over." And he was right. That game was not over. Ole Miss was this close to coming back. What a game. What a game. Bonnie in Beverly Hills, how you doing? All right. Here we go. Drought conditions. We've said this once. We'll say it a million. RE will only eat dark chocolate. Lynn's a quackerbacker. Lynn is all for Oregon. I don't know if I like the Dubai chocolate or not. I think my kids actually got it, Jolene. I think my kids bought it, but I don't remember if I'm a fan. I just don't like dark chocolate, except for when it's with coconut. When do we get rain? A little bit of rain on Sunday, possibly, Lori, and again in the middle of next week. So do I do the double box here, or do I do the graphic full? They're doing the coin toss. Let's do the graphic full, because you don't need to see me. You want to see the graphics. Okay, heads or tails? You know what I noticed in one of the games, it wasn't heads or tails. They flipped it with the team. There was one team on one side and the other team on the other side, and whatever one showed up is who got the coin toss, which I think that's actually more fair. Michelle, flying from Central PA to Florida Monday, bringing you some rain Thursday. I think you might. What part of Central PA, Michelle? Are you near State College? Because y'all know that's where I went. Aaron, how you doing? Good to see you. There's the drought index again. Look. If I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times, and I will now say it 1,001 times. We expect drought conditions in the wintertime in Florida. We do. We don't get a lot of rain in the winter historically. Every now and again, a couple years ago when we had an El Nino, we got a ton of rain. But the majority of the time, we are in a drought in the winter and in the spring. Why? Because we get a lot of sunshine in the winter and the spring. It's why everybody comes and visits us. So the fact that we are in drought conditions is not surprising. The fact that the drought conditions are a little bit worse than they often are, concerning, but should not be shocking. Now, at the end of the day, we still have burn bans and we still have drought conditions, and they're not going to get better anytime soon, probably. So it is noteworthy, but it shouldn't shock anybody. I think that's kind of the best way to describe it. Michael, someone who was in central Pennsylvania. Danville. So Michelle is in Danville. Yep, hour from Penn State. Know it well. You ever go to Tussey Mountain? Used to ski in Tussey Mountain outside of State College. Lewistown native too, Deb. So, yeah, I know Lewistown Hospital on Electric Avenue. Knew Lewistown very well as well. Wednesday and Thursday, Red, you are correct. Last night was the Big Ten officiating team. Tonight is an SEC crew calling, Hagen says. Got it. Raymond's asking about the whole Cat 6 thing. It's just an article that somebody wrote, and no, there are no sources out there. The WMO, the NWA, the NOAA, the TTYL, the BYOB, none of those organizations the official ones are saying, yes, we want to do a Cat 6. It's just there are some groups, if you will, that said, hey, what if? That's all it is, but nothing official. Your daughter works at Lewistown Hospital. I knew it well. All right, so let's go ahead and look at temperatures. Again, let's take this full. All right, so back to where we were. Thank you for the update. It is kickoff. Thank you for the stars. All stars benefit Children's Miracle Network and Feeding Tampa Bay. Why Pinellas doesn't have a burn ban, I don't know. Don't know, Anna Maria. Yes, rolling on the floor laughing. That's another one. All right, mid-70s right now. We hit 88 degrees today in Plant City. Yes, BYOB. It's a very interesting group. They're always laughing. Mid to upper 60s were the dew points, still are the dew points. And with that, we did see some fog out there this morning, but not nearly as widespread as it was the last several mornings. 88 today in Plant City, 85 in Zephyr Hills, 82 in Tampa, 85 in St. Pete. Right now, 73. There's our Feeding Tampa Bay camera. The winds are light out of the west. High today, 82. Look at the morning low, 14 degrees above average. And the high today was 11 degrees above average. Kurt Signetti's stomping up and down the sideline already. I don't even know why. I just happen to notice that. He likes to stomp. But that man likes to run up the score. They like to play two halves of football. I love the guy. There's a look at the satellite and the radar. They do not just, phone it in the second half. They play it like it's 0-0. Love it. Visibility tomorrow morning, couple of mile inland fog. I doubt we have any advisories. Should not be a problem. Futurecast, nothing going on tomorrow, but on Sunday morning, interception, pick six, Indiana. Oh my heavens. Wow. Yeah, okay. As predicted here a couple of minutes ago, Indiana minus the points. I don't know, I'm just saying. Whoa, that is the last thing Oregon needed. The last thing Oregon needed was a pick six to start the game. Oh my. Okay, anyway, there's a look at Sunday morning. 8 a.m. Sunday morning, there comes the front. All right, now, it will not be a tremendously solid line, but there will be some scattered showers out there. There will be some. Indiana is a machine, Hagan. I mean, they just are. It's crazy how fast that team has turned this around with that coach. 7-0 Hoosiers. All right, so from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, that line moves from north to south. And there will be some small pockets of moderate rain. It isn't going to rain anything. Indiana by 11 billion, Jules says. Wonder what the live line is now. They were a 3-point favorite or something like that, I think. Let me see. Because I bet now they're probably like an 8.5-point favorite. That's my guess. Let me see. We'll get back to weather in just a second, but I am curious about this. So right now, Indiana is 7.5-point favorite. 7.5-point favorite. So there you go. So I mean, I think that kind of tells me that Vegas thinks that Oregon is going to stay in this game. So we will see. All right. Anyway, 8 to 10 o'clock. Let's go ahead and actually take this out of play mode so I can go back here. All right. So here it is. This is Sunday morning. All right. 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. North of I-4 up to lunchtime. That is your best chance of some rain. Maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. And then it starts to dissipate as the front moves through. Okay? And that is it, to be honest. Tomorrow, beautiful day. I will be at Oyster Fest. If you get a chance to come out to say hello, please do. I will be out there. And highs tomorrow, it's going to be another warm one, just like today, in the middle 80s or even the mid to upper 80s in some spots. And then the temperatures start to drop. Low 70s on Monday and Tuesday. Another system potentially develops later on next week. And I'm going to show you that in just a minute. We're going to go right to it since streamers only have about 6 more minutes left. Rain chances on Sunday, primarily I-4 north, just like we just showed you. And that's what this model is showing as well. And then, overnight, partly cloudy, maybe a bit of patchy fog in a couple of spots. That's all. The beach looks great tomorrow. It'll be the nicest beach day we'll see for a couple of weeks. There's the 7-day. Chances of showers, I-4 north on Sunday. Another chance the middle of next week. And that's what we need to talk about. So let's jump. Thank you very much, Vinny. Appreciate it. Very kind. Oyster Fest is in Tampa. It's at Delaney Center, Delaney Park. Just Google Oyster Fest Tampa and you'll see it. And if you use the code DPL20, you get $20 off. So that's kind of a cool thing, too. All right, here we go. This is a look at the GFS, all right? This is Sunday. Front comes through. Not much to it, couple of showers. Here's Monday. So look at the 540 line, central Atlantic, mid-Atlantic coastline. So cool, seasonal, not really cold. Tuesday night into Wednesday, we turn our attention, look at the cold air digging in. Whoa. The GFS brings the 540 line all the way down to the Gulf. Whoa. The GFS brings the 540 line all the way down to Citrus County on Thursday. And behind it, any precipitation would be snow. So that's the GFS 6 days out. See it? Look at that snow. And oh boy, look at the GFS. Yes, it does even have a little bit of snow in the Panhandle. 6 days out. So, ooh, doggy, there we go. Okay. So let the conversations begin, all right? It's the GFS, but it's 6 days out. So you say, all right, well, if the GFS is showing, what is the Euro showing? Pretty similar. Look at the 540 line, guys. Look at the 540 line. There's the GFS, Euro. GFS, Euro. GFS, Euro. Pretty darn close. Dare I say, identical, to quote my cousin Vinny. So, 6 days out, there's going to be a lot of buzz. Look, who knows? Maybe. It happened last year. Ironically enough, what day is that? That is the 15th. So that is not the 20th, because the 20th is, By the way, Oregon is moving the ball. So Vegas usually knows what they're talking about. Giving that line at 7.5, obviously they're like, all right, Oregon's not out of this game. Because if they thought that, Indiana was going to blow them out, that line would have been even higher than 7.5, because they're already up by 7 anyway, right? So they got the ball at midfield, and they are driving. Well, not driving, but they're moving the ball. All right, anyway, there it is. GFS is bringing some snow to the mountains of Carolina. So Ski Sugar and Ski Beach probably loving this forecast if it verifies. And then that moves out to sea. And then another storm. Holy cow, the GFS is bringing another storm. It is a back-to-back. There's one on Thursday, there's another on Sunday, and that 540 line comes right back to Florida again. And the Euro is also showing the 540 line all the way down. So heavens to Murgatroyd, look at that. The 540 line into Pasco County a week from Monday. So it's 10 days out. So what does that tell us, my friends? It tells us to, as my mother said, to hold your horses, all right? 10 days out. All right, let's talk about the positives. If we're talking about cold air, the Euro and the GFS both show cold air next Thursday and Friday. Almost identical placement. 6-7 days out, can't ignore it. Pretty reasonable. They both show a secondary storm 10 days out. The pattern is such that the cold air is going to be in place. Now, will the cold air make it all the way down to our area? Will the 540 line make it all the way down to our area? Unlikely, but possible. There's the Euro with the 528 line on the Florida-Georgia border. That's a week from Monday, so that's 10 days out. GFS, not too far off. The Euro has a big snowstorm in the New England area in the Mid-Atlantic, I-95. That's so far out, let's say we won't waste our time. But I will go a week out. And you see, next Thursday it gets cold, and next Sunday or Monday it gets cold. Both the GFS and the Euro are showing it. All right? For us, there are the forecast highs for the Euro. 79 tomorrow, 74 Sunday, 67 Monday, 72 Tuesday, 57 the high on Friday, and 58 the high the following Monday. So the Euro, as we just showed you, bringing the freezing line down near our neck of the woods. Streamers, we're going to continue for a few minutes on Facebook. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. And we got out on streaming just in time. All right. So, all right. So let's see. We've got a few more models to talk about, a few more models to show you. All right. Okay, so we will look at the Euro in terms of the ensemble snowfall prediction runs, all right? There are 50 ensembles that we are having access to. See, right here, ensembles E1 to E50. So there are 50 ensembles. And remember, what is an ensemble? It's the model that runs that tweaks a little bit of the variables, a little bit as it goes, and each one comes up with a different solution. Gail is watching both. There you go, Gail. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So when we look at the 15-day forecast, this is overall snow accumulation for 15 days. E1 to E25 here. Look at E3. E3 does bring snow into the Florida Panhandle. Look at E1. Nothing. Look at E2, nothing. Look at E3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all the way to 25. So of the first 25 ensembles, only one has it with snow down to Florida. So if we were to do those math, what kind of a number would that be? That would be 4%. All right? 1 out of 25 is 4%. Now, let's look at the next 25 and see what they show. 0. Maybe. All right, I'll give this. This is Mobile. Maybe 2. So 2 out of 50. What kind of a number is 2 out of 50? Well, 1 out of 50 is 2%, so 2 out of 50 is 4%. So the Euro ensembles are giving a 4% chance of snow over the next 2 weeks in Florida. 4%. So now that is not particularly, no freezing. Nice, awesome. So we made it through the whole week without freezing. That is amazing. So major props to our crack engineering staff of Stephen DeBrand, Dave Bayeland, Jason Adams, not that Jason Adams, not the Jason Adams who's the general manager of the Threshers, not the Jason Adams who's the meteorologist. 6 o'clock news tonight. Jason did it. We did a story. It was pretty funny. So Jason, Jason's Florida beach bum on Instagram. So all about the beach and all about nature and the marine animals, and that's his thing. Big thing with him. So they were talking about oysters, and they were making, I didn't watch the story closely, but I think they were doing something to help out the oysters. So that was going into weather. And I went directly from helping out the marine life to, hey, come eat oysters with me this weekend over at Oyster Fest. So we are Penn State, Rick. We are. You know what, Rick? We were having a discussion. So anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. We're like, Jason's helping the marine life, and I'm eating it. I felt bad, but it is what it was. You know what, Rick? Think about Penn State this year. They fired their coach after 3 losses, all right? The first loss was in overtime to the best team in the country, all right? The second loss, they did not get up for that game. They had to go all the way across the country to go to UCLA, and they were not ready to play, and they still were 1 play away from winning, even though they did lose. Then they lost to Northwestern at home. Their quarterback got hurt in the final drive. Could have won the game. They fired him. Now, I get it. James Franklin got fired because of his overall record against top 10 teams over the last 10, 15 years, and it was horrible, beyond horrible. But it is funny that their losses, they had Indiana, that was Oregon, by the way, where they lost in overtime. They had Indiana beat. And Indiana came back at the end and a miracle catch in the end zone, if you've seen it, a miracle catch in the end zone for Indiana to win, or they would have lost. They'd still probably be where they are right now, but they would have lost. So that's how close sports can be. You've got a program who they fired their coach after 15 years, brought in a new guy from Iowa State. I know nothing about the guy. I mean, I do, but who knows if he'll be any good. But they fired him because people wanted more from Penn State, and yet they had Indiana beat, and they lost to a team in the national championship semifinals right now by incomplete pass in the end zone for Oregon, by this much in overtime. So it just goes to show you just how close, how much parity there is in college sports. Yeah, they did not score. All right. So anyway, I don't know. I just happened to see you. Your we are, and it just reminded me of that. So anyway, there we go. 4%, according to the Euro Ensemble, there's a 4% chance of snow. But what about the GFS? What is the GFS Ensemble showing? Well, we will look. Oh, touchdown, Oregon Ducks. The Quack Attack has tied it up, pending the extra point. So as Vegas knows, you know, they had that line only up to 7.5. I'm like, you know what? Vegas was thinking that they were going to keep it close, and so far Vegas is right. See, that's what happens. Now let's see what what the offense can do. Let's see what Indiana's offense can do, because they have not been on the field yet. There's what? How many minutes left in the quarter, and Indiana's offense has not even been on the field yet. So there we go. All right, let's look at the GFS. Okay. And they made the extra point. The game is tied 7-7 with probably like 4 minutes left in the quarter. I can't see from here. But, all right. Red says, go see the big duck in Clearwater. Yeah, the world's largest rubber ducky is in Clearwater. All right, so here's a look through Sunday. And this is the GFS Ensemble's snowfall prediction. Here's next Wednesday, still nothing. Through Thursday, nothing. Friday, nothing. Week out, nothing. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, nothing. Then it starts, you know what, this model does not seem to coincide with, well, it's the ensembles, so I guess so. The deterministic model, as the GFS often does with hurricane season, blows up the deterministic, and the ensembles are more reasonable. So this is a week out. It still really doesn't show anything, including in the Carolinas, which is kind of fascinating considering it really does blow something up. So here it is. On January 20th, the GFS ensembles, and they've been doing this for a while now, continue to show some light snow across this area right there in the deep south. It's been showing it now for about 3 days. So that's like on the 20th. That's what the ensembles are showing. The Euro ensembles, what day would the 20th be? Well, truth be told, we already determined that there's only a 4% chance anyway. So there you go. Let's recap. Let us recap. Okay, tonight, not as much fog. Tomorrow, a warm day. I will be at Oysterfest and helping out with Oysterfest. And Sunday, show you Futurecast one more time. Just go ahead and look at Futurecast one more time. Okay, stand by. Right here. All right, so this takes us through tomorrow morning and tomorrow night, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, here we go. Sunday morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., broken line, scattered showers, maybe half-hour rain. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 20, 30 minutes of rain tops. 11 a.m., lunchtime. Starts to weaken. All right? Temperatures. There they are. They're dropping. They continue to drop. We already have a dense fog advisory for the 11th. For 11/11? Wait a minute. Rita, wait. Let me Google that. There's no way there's a dense fog advisory for a day out, for 2 days out. While I do think there will be dense fog before the front comes in, I find that impossible to believe. Yeah, there are no watches and warnings. Why are you talking that foolishness? Why are you talking that foolishness? Rita, stop with the foolishness. There is no dense fog advisory for 11/11. Or do you mean 2/11? Or do you mean, no, there are no advisories. I just looked. All right. I did say that, Terry, that I do look like the Oregon colors at the beginning of DPL. I did say that. It does look like I have the quack attack, but I do not. I'm rooting for Indiana. I'm going to be honest. I'm rooting for Indiana because they're just such a fun team to watch. It just came up 1:11. Really? Wait a minute. Stand by. So that would be Sunday morning? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If they put out a dense fog advisory for 48 hours out, I would be flabbergasted. I would be shocked. I'm not seeing it. What are you doing? Wait, this is nonsense. Well, the Weather Channel is wrong, Rita. There you go, Rita. Now, that's the thing, Rita. The Weather Channel is wrong. Is there going to be fog on Sunday morning? I actually think there will be before the front comes. But there ain't no advisory. No advisory. Unless the Weather Channel wants to do one. Eagles on Sunday? I don't know, Michael. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to go watch a football game. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, I'll see some of y'all over at Oyster Fest. If not, I'll see you on Monday. Are we on TV on Monday? I don't remember. By the way, update, in women's hockey, Ottawa is still beating Vancouver 1-0 in the second period. Live on the spot, even as we speak. So if you're not interested in watching this football game between Indiana and Oregon, turn on the spot and you can watch the women's hockey game with Ottawa and Vancouver. Because if you're missing hockey, it's on. All right? Have a good night, guys. And next week is going to be cold. And the following week is going to be cold. And there might even be some snowflakes across the deep south. We got lots to talk about next week, and we will do that. Have a great night, and we will see you Monday night on our next edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys. Have a great weekend.